Dr. Faith Frinks is an author, life coach, content creator, and empowerment advocate whose mission is helping people to overcome life's greatest challenges and to step into the purpose God has for them. In this powerful conversation, Dr. Faith shares her personal journey of surviving years of domestic violence, the difficult road to healing, and how she transformed her power into a ministry of hope, encouragement, and empowerment for others.
One of the biggest trials that I have gone through is I came out of a domestic violence marriage.
And now you're an overcomer. That's
Yes,
what you
I don't like to
describe
use
yourself as.
survivor. I like to use overcomer because what I'm gonna be doing now, other people gonna overcome by the word of my testimony. So what really empowered me to empower other people is because people need to know who they
Yes,
really are.
yes,
People really need to know the gifts that they have. People really need to know the inner power that they
yes,
have. People really need to know how to love themselves
yes,
and learn how to walk away from what's trying to destroy them and tear them down. So at the time, the abuser was literally trying to take my identity, literally trying to tear me down, really trying to tear me apart, and really almost had me convinced that I wasn't who really God created me to be. So we have to be careful of identity crisis. Trauma brings us in our life identity crisis. So I wanted to be the one to interject or disrupt the thought pattern and the belief that the abuser tried to make the other person believe that they was or was not. And that's what brought me to writing. Writing had become my therapy. Yes, I have faith in God. Yes, I pray. Yes, I go to church. But the practical side and the spiritual side came together as a marriage for me in my situation. So what happened is that while I was fighting for myself, I had other people calling my phone that was going through abuse. And they had no idea that I was going through abuse. But I began to fight for others as they called my phone because I was already fighting for myself. And my writing had brought me to that point. I was already in the middle of writing how to unlearn the abuse. So my first book was Faith, Mind, Empowerment 21. Anything you do for 21 days consecutively, it becomes scientifically teaches us that you can break a habit or create one. That's good habit or bad habit. My first writing, I did a mental detox. 21-day mental detox. I had to unlearn the abuse. The unhealthy and negative abuse and what I was going through mentally, I had to unlearn it. Then I had to go back and rebuild my mind on the healthy things of life, on the healthy things, on my healthy healing, on the healthy things that I know positively that I knew before I got into the abuse.
How long were you married? And how long were you in the abusive situation?
Well, I was married legally 14 years, but I was in the abuse for 7 years.
Do you have any children from that abusive situation?
Okay, so when I was married, I did get pregnant once, and I lost that baby at stillbirth. So the baby didn't make it, which I know this might sound a little harsh, but I'm grateful that that situation shifted. I didn't need to be tied to an abuser even after because of the in-depth of the abuse I went through. I didn't need to be tied to that person after I'm out of the situation.
Was it a lot of mental abuse or was it physical or what was it? What happened?
It was financial abuse, domestic violence, narcissistic abuse. So it was mental abuse as well as verbal abuse. The first two physical altercations were my third year of being in a marriage. He put a gun to my face, pulled the trigger, but it didn't go off. That was the first altercation. Then after that, because that didn't work, he slammed me on my back. I was temporarily paralyzed. I couldn't move for 7 minutes. That was the physical. And also, it got even more physical a few years after that. You have to make the most safe and most silent exit as possible when you're trying to exit the situation because the abuser gets even more angry. So when I had to exit the situation, I was also attacked even after the legal filing was filed against him. I also was on my way to work one morning and he parked his vehicle down the road where I couldn't see it. So my back was turned. I was locking my door and setting the alarm on my house. He attacked me from behind, drug me off the steps, drug me in the driveway, which my driveway was concrete. And we as women, we get our nails done. I had on tips. So a few of my nails came off. It was bleeding. It was broken to the meat. And I always had what you call a code on my phone where I can just hit one button and it was coded, a code word. I had it attached with a star and then 2 numbers. I hit the star and the 2 numbers, so the police heard my altercation. It automatically went to the police department. The police in my city at the time was involved in every step of the abuse.
So, did they help you?
I had a paper trail and they helped me get out the safest way possible.
And you're from South Carolina, so I'm surprised
Yes, I'm
that
from
you
South
actually
Carolina.
got help.
Yes. In my city, there were a team of guys. One of them was the sheriff in that city. One of them was the head chief, and another few guys worked on the domestic violence team. They had a team. And I had one cop stay in front of me, and I had another one of those cops stay 2 doors down from me. So they would have to sit in my yard and watch my house because he came and vandalized my house, spray painted my house, bad words all over the brick. And if anybody knows, when you got a house and you file a claim, they do what you call an asset removal. But that claim counts against you. So I had 2 claims because of vandalism on my house because of them. Insurance companies will drop you for that.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So even the cops helped me find somebody to do an asset removal of the paint and vandalism on my house. So I won't, because I was already doing everything by myself, paying the mortgage by myself, the lights, the water, my car note, my car insurance, everything by myself. So they try to help me get much as solutions as possible. They even instructed me to go to a concealed weapon class. That was one of my things I had to do. My first thing I had to do is I went to a domestic violence coordinators where they protect women like us that what we go through. We'll go into their chambers privately. They will get us a same day court date to get our restraining order in place. And even if we wanted to get a divorce the same day, they will put the divorce in place for us as well.
Well, this is unheard of. I am not aware that they have been doing this in any part of South Carolina.
Really? Yes. I won't say the name on here, but I'll give you the name in private. That way, if you ever have any women in that area or in the South, you can refer them there because the police just referred me there. And which was a blessing. The judge, because of the paper trail was so long with the abuse, all different type of the abuse, that the judge gave me a permanent restraining order.
Well, if any other domestic violence or task force hears this, they need to be doing the same thing because I know that lives will be saved. And I am just shocked that this happened in the state of South Carolina.
He came to one of the altercations at my home and he pulled me to the side, and he was a man of God, a man of faith. And he was like, I go to so many of these cases. And when I arrive, I'm so heartbroken because people don't get out of the situation and they end up in a body bag. We have to go tell their loved ones that because they didn't want to exit the situation, I had to come here to let you know your loved one didn't make it. And
well, I commend them. I commend those men that did this, that actually done something about a domestic violence situation. Because, like I said, this is unheard of.
Yes. I looked at them as my angels on earth. This is how I was looking at the situation. I was already been praying for an exit strategy. They just came with the exit strategy with education.
Yeah.
Telling me how to safely remove myself from the home and from the situation so that I can make it out alive. Mind you, I have an aunt, that story that inspired me as well, because her domestic dispute that she had, she didn't make it. Her story went viral all over the States, which their own known platforms that talk about these issues and situations. So her story inspired me not to stay in the situation. The team that was helping me, these earthly angels, which were law enforcement, they told me, they said, God is gonna love you the same. He was like, sometimes people we get with and marry is not the person we supposed to be married to. And he said, it's okay. He said, the main thing is we're here to protect and serve. We want to help you exit the situation silently, quietly, and the most safe as possible.
The beautiful thing about that is they did not judge you.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
did not get on the
Absolutely.
abuser side.
Yep.
Even though they were men also, they did not side with the abuser. And that's awesome.
Right. Like I said, to me, it was like God sent angels on earth to help me exit the situation. Like I lived in that city for over 5 years at that point, at that time, and I hadn't seen these people in that city. This law enforcement, law enforcement came to write up many paperwork on. I called for every little thing that happened that he did. You know, every little thing, because there were situations where when he would abuse and manipulate the situation, and he would call the police to make it look like I did something and I didn't, and I would be just getting home. He would break in my home, and he broke in my home this particular day. I was at church, and he staged another blood situation all through my house. He cut himself to make it look like I did it and called the police and try to have me locked up. This as far as the abuse went. And yes.
Dr. Faith, what were some of the instructions and education you were given to exit that abusive situation? How did you get out?
Okay. So when the police came, they gave me resources. And I won't call the name of the place, but I will give you the name so you can direct people there if they need help. But this particular abuse advocate community that they refer me to had the resources set up for me to exit the situation. So the number one thing was to get me an immediate court date. So that particular organization sets all this up when the police send you there. So the police sent me there. They called. They said, "Hey, I have situation so and so," and gave her all my information. They have a safe code that they use. So when they use the safe code, that particular day, he gave them all my information. And step 2 was I had to show up at the location. So no matter what time of the night it is, they have someone to receive you, even in the middle of the night.
Even though you went through all these abusive situations, at any time, did you feel like you needed to take the law into your own hands? Did you feel like this individual was trying to take your life?
Well, yes, he had tried to take my life a few times. So this was like the last straw. So because of the threat was so big at this point, the police set me up with the organization to exit the situation. So I stayed there for overnight at shelter. They processed my paperwork when I got there. The first thing was to remove me from the home for a few days so I can get the solution taken care of. The first thing they did for me was put a restraining order in place. The second thing that they did, so they reached the judge because my life was threatened. So they got the judge, got me immediate court date the next day. He was ordered to show up for this court hearing, and if he didn't, there was consequences, which, charges were being filed in the whole situation.
Did he show up? Did he show up?
He did not show up. So when you don't show up, they will send out that a warrant type thing.
It sounds like it was a contempt of a court order. He was ordered to show up, but he didn't.
But also they took pictures of my bruises and attacks, the injuries that I had. So I had injuries too. So they took pictures of those, and that went along with my court order.
So they went on ahead and issued a warrant for his arrest because he failed to show up for that hearing. That's what it sounds like.
Right. Because I had injuries they took pictures of. So still he had to tell his side of the story. The abuser still have to tell their side of the story. So they set that up. After he didn't come for hearing, they had a actual physical cop to sit in my yard for the rest of the week. So like 2 cops would take turns sitting in my driveway, make sure I was safe. They had that put in place.
That is
Yeah.
serious. I'm telling you.
These are the steps. They always told me to keep an emergency bag in the car. They also told me to call my family and give them my code word. I had a
I'm
code word.
kind of getting emotional with this, Dr. Faith. I'm kind of getting emotional because that was some serious business.
Yes.
And I'm glad to see you on this platform.
Oh, I'm grateful. So yeah, the cops instructed me to, and also the organization, which I kind of was aware of the code word because of the cops mentioning it to me. And the organization, they told me, come up with this code word. Only your family supposed to know the code word.
Yeah.
So if you can't call 911 or you in a situation where you can't call the police, I had all my family on speed dial. Like I had a list of my immediate family on speed dial. So if I hit star on one of those, they know my code word. I'm in a situation where I can only say my code word. The abusers don't know what I'm doing with my family member. They have no idea why I'm saying a code word. They know nothing about the code word. I was able to get help just like that to my house. Okay, so another hack or another good thing, emergency that they gave me to do, always keep a packed bag in your car with everything in it. Toothbrush, toothpaste, extra underwears, extra bras, extra outfits in a bag.
Important documents and things like
In
that.
the bag. Right. In the bag. So what I did was I packed that bag and I put also a copy of the order of protection in that bag in my glove compartment under my seat. Like I had it different places. So that order of protection that they give you, you got to take it serious.
Yes.
So if anybody that's out there that is a victim right now, these are some of the things that they need to do to put in place to protect themselves. And do not look back. Get out of the situation and don't look back. Because if you look back and go back, that could be your very last time. They could be taking you out of a body bag the next time. You don't want to play with your life like that. You have to love yourself enough to get out of the situation.
Yes. I know a couple of times when I was in my abusive situations, I wanted to take the law into my own hands. I got just sick and tired, just having to live like what you're saying. I had to leave my own places where I live because of abuse. And I got to the point a couple of times I wanted to take the law into my own hands. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I wouldn't be on this platform right now.
That's right.
It wasn't like it, all the help that you received. I was a teenager being abused by a man, and the system here did not take it seriously. That's why I'm flabbergasted at the help that you received, because nobody seemed to take it seriously when I was being abused.
Wow.
And I know a lot of other women that have that same story in the state of South Carolina, because South Carolina is number 6 in the nation for domestic violence. So the people that put that program in place where you live, South Carolina needs to mimic that program that actually helped you to get out of that situation. That program basically saved your life, Dr. Faith.
It did. And I'm so grateful that I'm alive to even share my experience. Like, when I tell you angels on earth, like those were angels on earth, literally, that helped me get out of that situation, and it saved my life. Like, I'm grateful the fact that I can tell my story. I have my sound mind, although the situation wanted me to lose my mind. But I'm still in my right mind. Of course, I had to go through brain healing, because when you're traumatized over and over again like that and that type of abuse, you get psychologically sick in your brain. Like you actually have to go through brain healing. I took brain supplements to help my brain heal, because anytime your brain endures that much trauma, you lose neuroplasticity in your brain. Because psychologically, it damages some of the cells in your brain, and you have to heal from that.
And it can bother your memory also, because you automatically block out traumatic events, and it seems like that interferes with your memory some.
It does. It causes brain injuries to actually happen in the brain.
Well, what kind of supplements did you take when you were going on your brain healing journey after your situation?
You seen the water stick types where you can put in your water, shake up and drink? I took what you call Illuminate.
Okay.
You put it in your water, you shake it up, and you drink it. Earth
Okay.
Fair has the packets as well. So you can go down the supplement aisle there at Earth Fair, and you can get some of those brain illuminates packets. And that pretty much, it got every supplement in that to help repair those brain situations in your brain.
Did you take vitamins?
Yeah, I took multivitamin along with that, but the main thing for the brain itself, I did that every day for 90 days.
Okay.
90 days straight. You want to do it 90 consecutive days. And why? Because now that becomes the number of lifestyle. It's not only that you're doing it out of habit, now you're doing it for your health and healing.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for 90 days. I also fasted. And I also read positive things while I was taking that brain supplement to reset the thought process in my brain.
Did you do any detox too? Because I know you like a lot of natural things. Did you detox also with that?
Well, I always detoxed on a regular, but for your brain healing, specifically, I did those supplements.
Okay.
Because it's got 5 to 6 different medicines in that particular pack that your brain gonna need to heal. And I've known some people to go to a neurologist, but I didn't have to do all that because, like I said, that's how long I stayed in the situation, and I knew of from a counseling situation that was important to do because the brain had trauma to it.
Did you go to therapy also?
I didn't go to therapy, but I did do counseling. Yes, I did do counseling.
I did counseling for a long time and also therapy. And this last round of therapists, it really helped me because I found out the reason why I was going into some of those abusive relationships was because of my wounded child part. I never addressed my wounded parts as a child. And those contributed to me making some of those bad decisions.
Yep. And me, in my situation, I took responsibility for making that bad choice because I also saw the signs that I ignored. That's another thing we don't want to do. Ignore certain signs, certain red flags that we see. We don't need to repaint those green. We need to leave those red. Red means stop for a reason. So I take full accountability of that part and didn't realize it was going to ricochet to this type of abuse.
So let me ask you something. That one red flag, did it start out with control?
Yes.
Did you see?
It started out as control.
Can you hear this?
It started out as control.
That's the number one.
That's the number one. And it started as control, and then they will come back and act like nothing had never happened. They'll come back and manipulate you, love bomb you, do all this stuff, try to buy you gifts to make you forget about it, just different things like that. When you see that sign of control, that means flee immediately.
Number one, audience, and I've been saying it from my experience. When the abuser comes and wants to control you and change who you are, number one, that's something serious right there. That's where it all begins at.
Control what you wear, where you go, who you with. They isolate you from your family, and the list goes on. So when you see that number one of control, get out immediately. Don't think of the potential of the relationship, what it could be, what it could turn out to be. No, don't go off potential. You go off what you're seeing right now because that has everything to do with their character. So if you're seeing those type of character flaws, get out immediately. So with all of that, it brought me to empower others. It brought me to empower other people because of what I actually been through.
Dr. Faith, you are awesome. You're an awesome woman.
You are too. Thank you. So this is one of my 31 days, 31 ways to love you greater. This is one of the ones I use for curriculum when I am life coaching somebody that has gone through narcissistic abuse or gone through abuse or, going through these type of situations when it comes to relationships. We got to love ourselves. We got to love ourselves and know that whose we are, and what we are here for, a purpose. And we have to live out those days so that we can change lives that we come across. We didn't only go through this for ourselves, but we went through it so the people that we'll come across, that we'll know how to empower them and get them to that healthy place, right? The first one I wrote was called Faith Mind Empowerment, because I understood that it was my faith that helped me through the journey. It was the empowerment, and also my mind. I knew my mind had to be transformed. So the mind is so important. Like, even when we go through these type of instances, these type of situations, we have to unlearn all of that stuff so it can make space so we can heal. So we can live out the healthy version of ourselves in our lives. So when we do come across people, we see it now in the lenses of healing. We see it from the lenses of our healthy place at this point. Part 1, Volume 1 and Volume 2 to Faith Mind Empowerment 21. I just dropped 2 more books of empowerment this January. That name of that one is Wealth by Faith, the 90-Day Power of Words Challenge. We can't allow the words, even from the abuser, to get into our psyche and literally manifest this person that we're not. We have to speak and operate in the words who God said we are, who our faith in God say we are. You know, the positive things in life. You are somebody.
Yes.
You are a queen. You are a great woman. You are a woman of purpose. You are a woman of faith or a man of faith. I mean, we have to make sure that our words, because our words have so much power, it speaks to the very nervous system of our body.
Yeah.
It speaks to the very mind of us, to the very last cell in the brain.
Yeah.
Our words are so powerful, it vibrates a frequency in our bodies to where it manifests that very words that we believe hearing and saying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's important. We cannot allow people to come into our life and try to devalue us with their words. That's so important. Our words have that kind of power. And other people speaking over us, we have to make sure that we only allow what we purpose to be in life, to allow in our life the words to manifest the very core of us. So this why it's important that I wrote the 90-Day Power Words Challenge.
And I understand too, you've been on a lot of vacations lately. I think you went on to like 7 vacations.
Yeah, that is also a part of the healing as well. That's a part of your healing journey. When you take time out to take a sabbatical like that, and God did position me and allow me to, I was blessed to go on that many vacations on other people's special favor that had extended to me. So that was part of my healing process as well, a sabbatical.
Yeah.
So that's very important too, to get that mental reset that you need. And that helps. Taking a sabbatical, whether it's a vacation, whether it's time off at the mountains, just to yourself, to be able to decompress everything. And then that way you can pour back into yourself and reset your mental. I think that's very important.
I've been doing a lot of that lately. I just stay to myself and, still work, but just basically stay to myself, and it's healthy for me.
Yes.
Because I had never been able to do that before. And now I'm getting the opportunity to do it because I was a caretaker for everybody else. And now I'm just caring for myself. And it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a blessing. That's so important. That mental reset, we need it. We need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I've been able to write. I've been able to speak, go places to speak. So author, speaker, and life coach. So, I've been able to help people along the way too, privately.
You have a lot of followers and you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, to God be the glory. I just, I'm passionate about it. Like, I want to see the next woman. And, and I know men go through abuse too as well, because I've came across some guys that, was good people that went through it, but just being able to pour back into somebody else, like after you have gotten to this healthy place, and to pour back into somebody else, snatch them out of that fire and get them to a cool down place in the healthy life. It's just been a blessing for me, to be able to do that.
You are an awesome woman of God, and thank you so much. This platform to share your
Right.
story. You almost had me in tears, but to see you now,
Yes,
God,
it's a blessing to tell my story without crying. I couldn't do this, Dr. Evelyn. Like, I used to be to the point where I couldn't tell my story without getting all the way through it and not crying. So I'm grateful that I could get through it now without crying. Now, if I cry, it'll be tears of joy. For all the experience I had, all the things I've gone through, good, bad, ugly, or different, and challenges that I had, it all mended together for my good so I can pour back into people. So I can come back and empower people. So all my videos is about empowerment. So whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, whatever you may be just stepping into, there's empowerment for every area of that person's life. So spiritually and practical.
that is awesome, Dr. Faith. Well, audience, you heard it here. You heard Dr. Faith tell her story about abuse, but she's an overcomer. Look where she is now. She's a beautiful woman. She has an awesome spirit. I mean, she's just positive. She's giving out all this great information. And like I said, I thank you so much for
You're
choosing
welcome.
this
Thank you for having
platform
me.
to tell your domestic violence overcomer story on. And we're
Yes.
looking for more women like
Yes.
Dr. Faith that will stand tall and
Mhm.
tell your story and
Mhm.
tell how you made it out. I need to get off of here, everybody, before I bust out in tears right now. I'm so happy. Tears of joy. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Dr.
You're welcome, Dr. Evelyn. Thank you for having me.